James is in Jacksonville, Florida. You're on Free Talk Live. James.
Welcome to the program, James.
This is a different James,
Hey,
but
how's it
go
going?
ahead.
I just found y'all tonight, man. I love this show. I found you on a TuneIn app.
Oh, excellent. How did you find us on the TuneIn app?
I was just looking up, talk radio, and y'all were underneath the libertarian, category and stuff. So
Great.
that's what I was looking for.
Welcome
Yes, sir.
aboard. Go ahead with your
Yes.
thoughts.
Yes. Sunday on Meet the Press, our ambassador to the UN said.
I have no ambassador to the UN. I'd just like to make that clear. I don't want to
I agree.
participate in the UN and therefore would not submit anyone as an ambassador. Do you mean the United States federal government's ambassador?
Yes, that's
Gotcha.
right. Yes,
All right.
that's right.
Go ahead, sir.
Actually admitted that we're there fighting ISIS to take out Assad. And, the message needs to be, we've been saying it for months. I had a picture of John McCain chilling with ISIS about 4 months ago on my Facebook, and now they're coming out saying, oh, John McCain chilling with ISIS, and it's like a big,
Really?
deal. I mean,
John McCain was chilling with ISIS?
Well, there were some guys. I remember the photo that you're talking about, where like these guys turned out to be like kidnappers and holding people for ransom, and like John McCain was hanging out with them. Which then we've got the
that's
old
true.
photo of Donald Rumsfeld shaking hands with Saddam Hussein. I mean,
Gangsters
this is the
hang out,
routine,
right?
yeah.
I mean, that's what they do.
And it's really frustrating, because we've been saying this for a while. Look, even the Christians in Syria support Assad. So why don't we help Assad if we're really trying to take out ISIS? You got Rand Paul. He said we gave over 600 tons of ammo to ISIS just in 2013. So the message is getting out what's really going on. And you got people like Lindsey Graham, his head's about to explode.
I don't even know who half these people are. Some politician,
you don't know who
right?
Lindsey Graham is?
Is it some politician?
Ian's really plugged in, man.
Lindsey Graham is like this crazy left-wing Republican warmonger, and he's about as bad a Republican as you could get.
Oh, they're all bad.
Yeah.
I mean, all the Republicans and Democrats are bad as far
But you
as I'm
should know
concerned.
the names of the worst
Why
ones.
should I? They're all
think.
scumbags. I mean, they're
Because you're
like
a talk
one
show host, and
trash,
you're talking about current events.
one
and
piece of trash versus another. In fact, I can't stand talk shows that drop names of politicians as though they're so important. These people aren't important to me. They're criminals.
Well, they certainly are, but if there was I don't know, if there was a significant criminal element in Keene other than the KPD, right? Like we might want to know who the
I know
mafia
who
was
they
in
are.
Keene.
I know who they are because they're the ones who are going to come put a gun to my head if I don't do what I'm told for the most part.
Right, and Lindsey Graham is going to go give the order to have a man put a gun to your head.
So, okay, James, what else did you have to share?
Well, that's pretty much it. I mean, I agree with y'all completely. I mean, it's a total fraud. I mean, we all know who's really running the show, but
Who is running
Who
the
is
show?
running the
I
show?
don't know who's running the show. For God's
Yeah,
sakes,
I
this
know
gets
who's
confusing to
running
me.
the show. I mean,
It's the
know,
New World
sitting at the
Order.
top about it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on, it's pretty obvious at this point.
Is it?
And it's being
the
exposed.
global
I mean,
elite.
that doesn't really answer the question, right? To say it's the New World Order doesn't answer the question of who
It's
is
the
running the show.
Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and the
I
international
don't want you
bankers.
to answer the question, Cantwell. I want James to answer the question. He says we all know. I don't know. Who's running this thing?
Well,
Whatever that is.
It's the foreign banks, for one thing. It's people like George Soros funding all these organizations collapsing countries.
What about the Koch brothers?
Well, what about George Soros?
I'm just asking.
Koch
They're another billionaire. I mean, is it everyone who's a billionaire that's running this thing, or is it only George Soros?
No, it's the people that have an agenda to have a one world government. I mean, all you have to do is look and see what's happening. Our borders are wide open.
Good.
They're trying to start. Yes. Is that good?
Yeah, man. Let's open them up further. I don't think they're wide enough because there's a bunch of Border Patrol agents down there arresting people. who are
Killing
just
people all the
yeah,
time.
who
I
are
was
just
reading about that the
So
other
that's
day.
the problem. They're not arresting people. There's all types of articles coming out with it. saying
Wait a
they're not
minute.
arresting.
Now, okay, so you were looking for a libertarian talk show. You do understand, is that because you aren't a libertarian? And you wanted to hear what the
No,
libertarians are saying, the crazy libertarians?
Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm a constitutionalist with libertarian views, but I don't have one category. My point is, we are funding ISIS, and our borders are wide open.
It is like, look, I mean, Let me help this guy out here for a second, though, because it's one of these things that. Yeah. So look, it's one thing to say I don't believe that there should be such a thing as the United States border, right? But I also would say that, like, when the government is going to go overseas and wage a war on terrorism in the hopes that the terrorists don't get into the country, but they leave the borders wide open, like, it does go to a long way to spelling out the hypocrisy and lunacy of what they're doing, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not like Switzerland's collapsing into America. It's a total failed state with people that have diseases we haven't seen in 30 years that are spreading all over the country. I mean, there's article after article of kids getting all these weird diseases.
As a constitutional guy, are you someone who supports small government or big government and a police state?
I support state government. I mean, I don't even support a state government, but I definitely... You know, I know the Border Patrol is one of the constitutional...
You didn't answer my question, and no, it's not constitutional. But as a constitutional guy, do you support a small government or do you support a police state? I'm curious.
Hell, no.
All right, brother. Well, then you can't advocate for closing the border, because the only way to have a closed border is to have a police state to enforce that closed border, to have men with guns checking everybody to come in and leave the country, and then going into businesses and checking everybody's records at gunpoint, and then raiding people's homes to search for immigrants. Because if you want to stop people from coming here on their own volition, then there's only one way to do it, and that's with men with guns, and that means a police state, dude. Keep listening to Free Talk Live. This is a big issue, and unfortunately, we are we're coming up on the final segment of the show here tonight, so we don't really have time to dig in deep on immigration. So I would like to invite you to continue to listen to Free Talk
But
Live.
I'll tell you this about the 10th Amendment of the Constitution. It says the power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states and respectively, or to the people.
Immigration is delegated to the United States in the Constitution proper, not in the Bill of Rights.
Isn't it naturalization?
A uniform law of immigration and naturalization. And so if you have a law of immigration, you necessarily need a means by which to enforce it. It's absolutely constitutional.
Well, we don't need that crap.
We don't.
Right. Thanks for the call, James. Appreciate hearing from you. If you want small government, you can't be in favor of a border patrol or, this enforcement.
They don't mention citizenship until the 14th Amendment, though.
That's true.
No, they don't.
They came up with that later.
Just people being able to cross borders.
855 450 free. You take control here on Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.